Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. I'm Gav. We are here with a show on Euro 2024 as the last round of group games are underway, and some of them are on the way. I'm joined by Ashley and I'm joined by Kev. We're a little bit late because we're all just kind of reacting or relaxing after Italy absolutely robbed the draw off Croatia, which was phenomenal game. Can't remember the fella's name that scored. I don't know what he said when he came on, but I thought it was something like I could have sworn he said he was banned for about 7 months and come back at the end, but
For
it might have
betting,
been
yeah.
injured. Was it banned?
Betting. Yeah, betting.
Ah,
He
he was
played
he
he
was
got he come
he
back,
was
played
Ivan
one game for
Toney's.
Juve,
Yeah.
and he's in. I
Right.
think it's him anyway. It might not be him.
Well, there was a
Could
fella
be
come
the
on
other
and
guy
really
in
should have said he was
Manchester
banned
Derby.
for 7 months, but he picked him anyway, the crack. So we're gonna have a little look at the games tonight. We're gonna look forward to the remainder of the group games, and then you know what, we might throw a couple of players that have impressed us, or who we think might win, whatever we want to do. I don't know who plays who. I'd say like you need a mathematician to work out who's gonna play who in this tournament. But that's where we're going to go. Ashley, Italy on the way out. Croatia holding on. Modric beside himself with nerves. Calafiori decides, I'll just run through here and play a couple of 1-2s. Gets it out to the fella that was betting for ages. And what a finish, in fairness to him.
I think his name is Zakani. I don't know if that's pronounced
Yeah,
right,
probably
but
about right. That sounds as
yeah,
good as I'm going to do
that
anyway, yeah.
was that was his first goal for Italy. So good time to score that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. I thought for sure they were going out. I thought we were going to have a whole. Actually, I don't even know if they were going to go out with 3 points, but I thought the story was there for Italy collapse again. But yeah, like what a kick in the teeth for poor Modric. I really thought that was going to be his Cinderella moment.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad. Like they take off Modric, who of course missed the penalty earlier in the game, and a minute later scores. And you're thinking, right, there's 10 minutes to go or whatever, or there was about 10 minutes to go when he comes off, but then the add and he every couple of minutes they're just cutting to the dugout, and he's sitting there, and his nerves are gone. He's talking, he's biting his jersey, he's doing everything. But what a finish by Italy, and in fairness, Kev, like there's something about Italy where you think these fuckers will do it because their mentality is ridiculous.
It is, but you look at Croatia. Croatia have that vast amount of experience when it comes to getting through groups. They just always seem to have enough. I remember when we were doing the preview to all of this, I didn't think Croatia had it. I thought there was too many of those players that were over the hill and on the slide. But as the clock kept ticking down, I just kept thinking, they just know how to do this. There's enough quality and experience on the pitch. Then he started making silly changes. I couldn't understand. He took off your man who was Kovacic and left Brozovic on. I just thought that was a weird one. And it's like Italy set up for the draw. They started at 5-3-2, and they were quite content, quite happy. Nothing was really happening in the game until the goal. And then when Modric, missed the penalty, Donnarumma went from hero to villain in about 30 seconds. And then it was all hands to the pump for Italy because odds are they were going to go through anyway. As one of the best the four
Yeah,
best third place teams.
easy. Yeah, they would have went
But
through. Yeah,
that that could have thrown up all kinds of chaos in the next round because they would have come up against one of the stronger nations early. But Croatia would have gone through. And Zakagian is the guy's name. It was a beautiful finish, but it came at him at the perfect angle. All he had to do was open his body and time it. That's all he had to do. Didn't have to hit the back off the ball or anything. Just he opened his body up and timed it in. It was a beautiful finish. And to be fair, I thought the Croatian keeper had a really good night. I thought he had a really good game. He impressed him a lot. Impressed a lot actually. But all in all, I think over the three games, I've enjoyed watching Italy. And even in the Spain game, where Spain dominated the ball, it was only an own goal that got the win. The thing, there's a lot more to come from Italy, but the thing is, I think they're struggling. They're missing a number nine, and there's a few sides in this tournament where you look at them. The difference between having a number nine, the likes of Germany with Fulkrug, that can come off the bench and affect games and score goals, and Italy with Scamacca has got in no kind of form. And the difference, it's a marked difference between the two. And there's a few sides like that.
I thought, in fairness, when I seen Italy against Albania in the first game, and Schumacher was there, and I was thinking I think he's had quite a decent season with Atalanta. Really good
Yeah.
against Liverpool or Anfield, and I thought he was really good in the Europa League final as well. But the thing is, I'm not too sure they played the suit. I don't think they put an awful lot of ball in the box. They're looking for Chiesa, Barella, and others to play angles around the box. Nearly score perfect goals. And I think Schumacher is a bit more old school, where put it in there, and he's technically a good player, but I think he wants to be in there finishing. But having said that, Chiesa knocks a brilliant one across the box in injury time, and I don't know what he's doing. Like he's literally letting it go beyond him before he tries to get it. But yeah, it may come to haunt him. But the only thing I would say is that Italy, for me, I think Barella's being poor. I don't think he's taken a game under control. Bar Albania, I think he was anonymous against Spain. Now, most of them were, but even tonight, I find with Barella, it's kind of, if Italy are on top, he looks at Rolls Royce. When they're not on top, I think he's a bit tetchy, gives frees away. Physically, I think Croatia got the better of him, but Italy will go into this now going, cat with 9 lives, or whatever you want to call it. And for me, they will go in and go, you know what? If we came up against Spain again, we'll probably do the same as what we done during the week, but we'll make sure we attack a little bit more, because when they actually got at Spain, they had some chances. But Ashley, go on, Kev.
No, so the one thing that impressed me with Italy was the centre back pairing, Bastoni and Calafiori.
Yeah.
But he's missing now for the next game.
Yes.
He got a second booking, so he's going to be missing for the next game. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
But that Bastoni looks a very good player. And
Bastoni's
that Calafiori at 22. Bastoni's not much older. I think he's about 23 or 24 or something like that. He's not that much older.
Linked with English,
but the two of them
as
a partnership, Bastoni playing right-sided as a left-footed player, it just looks so easy and so natural for him. He looks a proper defensive leader.
Yeah.
I mean, if he stays in Italy, fine, but whoever decides to put money down for him, it's going to take a serious amount of cash to get him out of.
Oh well, his star is only rising as this tournament goes on, and Bastoni and Calafiori, I think, Bastoni's is very well known, but I think doing it on this stage, always kind of brings you up a level. But Calafiori, his star is rising all the time, and you'll probably see him stay in Italy. Who's Bologna, is it? He's with
Bologna, yeah.
Yeah, you'll probably see him get a move in Italy, because that's usually what Italian defenders do, is they stay there. Ashley, when you look at that group, Spain have come out with 3 wins from 3, and look mightily impressive throughout. In fairness, you look at Italy going through, and Croatia won't now go through because their goal difference is worse than is a Hungary, or one of them. There's just somebody down there that had 2 points. I've seen them earlier, but coming out of that group, you're not going to want Spain in the next round as a runner-up or a third place from somewhere. But I don't think you're going to want Italy either, because Italy are a team that can just frustrate you. And the mentality to go, we'll just play 120 minutes and just go to penalties, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, they're set up to defend. Italian players do, and that's what they did today. I think over the course of the 3 games, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I think over the course of the 3 games, they were more impressive than Croatia. I think they deserve to go through. And I think they face Switzerland, I think, is probably their next opponent, if they finish second in the group. So I think they'll actually, they'll fancy themselves against Switzerland. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Spain was clearly the most impressive one out of that group. I mean, they were playing their entire second string today and barely looked like they got out of first gear. And I mean, the goal that they scored was beautiful. And I think, I don't know, I think they're the ones in my book that are the ones to beat.
Sorry?
I think Spain are the ones to beat, at least in my opinion. so far.
I like the look of Spain. I just think France just seem to be sitting there pouring in second gear and could possibly go through a couple of gears as well. But we get on to them in a minute. I'm just looking up the knockouts now.
Yeah.
Like Spain play a third play. How did you work out who? Like, so you have 8 group winners, right? Yeah, but some of them play the third best teams, and some of them play second in the group. How did he work that out? Is that just
Is
drawn
it
at
8 or
random?
6? 6 group
Sorry,
winners.
6 group winners, right?
Yeah.
But say the first in Group D plays second in Group F, right? But first in Group E play a third place team, yeah. And then you have Germany play a second place team, and I think, but if Portugal top their group, they play a third place. Like there's 6.
It must,
What I'm saying is there's 6 group winners, but there's only 4 fourth place. There's only 4 third place teams. So how did they
yeah.
decide out of those 6 which 4 get the third place teams? Do you get me? Like, is that just
Yeah,
look at the draw?
I think it must have been decided at the start when the draw was made.
So they literally set out that format, and then whatever group you're drawn into,
The
that's what
group you
they've
fall
worked out.
into,
Yeah.
that's what you fall into. But yeah, the Switzerland Italy is the 5 o'clock kickoff on Saturday in Berlin. There'll be 2 games Saturday. Switzerland Italy will be the first game. The second game will be Germany against someone that hasn't been decided yet. Let me see. It'll be Germany against whoever comes second in Group C.
Yeah. But looking at moving on to tomorrow's, Ashley, I'll stay with you. Tomorrow's groups, we'll start with the Netherlands top the group, France in second, Austria in third, Poland or bottom won't go through, unless they win tomorrow. I suppose. Yeah, no, they'd need a big win tomorrow and hope Austria lose. But looking at this group, you know, France play Poland, so you strongly fancy France to win that, but it's a real winner takes all, I think, between Austria and Holland, because if Holland come out and decide we'll play for the draw, you know, you can see what happens. Like, Italy get away with it tonight, but if the Netherlands come out to play for a draw, they'll still go through as the best third place, but that throws you all over the place. I said I've been impressed with France, but Holland topped that group. What have you thought of Holland? And even Austria, I think Austria have been all right.
It's not. They're not a team that's really wowed me. I think there's moments of brilliance. I think like Gakpo has shown that in the national team he has a special kind of confidence that he doesn't have quite yet at Liverpool, probably through lack of game time and positional change. So he's exciting. I mean, I think France are playing well beneath where they can be. I mean, I don't even think they've gotten out of first gear in general. I think it'll be interesting I think it looks like Mbappe will play. I mean, at least I think he was in like a behind closed doors friendly the other day and scored a load of goals. So I don't think there's any issue with him playing. So I think that will set France. I mean, I would assume France will top the group. I think Netherlands will probably come second. I don't know. Austria, bit of a wild card. So we'll see.
It's Kev, you know, the way it stands, these 3 teams could go through. 3 points seems good enough to get you through as a best third place. I don't know if that's the right words, best third place finishers or whatever way you want to put it. But how big is it for even France or the Dutch to go, yeah, we've topped that group, just as a confidence thing? Like, how big is it for Holland to turn around and go, yeah, tough group with Austria, you know how good France are, you know, runners up in the World Cup and stuff like that. How big would it be for the Dutch to go, yeah, we topped that group?
I think it'd be massive for Holland, considering they were in the same qualifying group as France, and the French got the better of them over the qualifying period. And look, there was plenty of needle in that game. The 2 countries don't like each other, and you know, so it would be great for them. But to be honest, the Netherlands are another one of those sides who are desperately missing a proper striker. You know, Memphis Depay is not a number 9 that you'd hang your hat on. And to be fair, Austria under Ranić are very organised. They're aggressive enough, they're competent, and they're some good players. They don't have any standout world-class superstars, but they have a very good unit. And I think in Conrad Leimer, he's been very good. Battle in midfield tomorrow. That'll be a great game to watch because the battle in midfield will be what decides it. And the Netherlands have been good in midfield. Your man, the young kid, he's on loan from PSG in Germany. I can't remember his name. Young, skinny, weedy kid. But he'll come to me in a second. Squad list.
Javi Simmons.
Javi Simons, yeah. He looks he looks quality. If he's allowed to get on the ball and take the ball, carry it, and bring others into play, him and Gakpo could have a real good game. It'd be interesting to see what he does with Jeremy Frimpong as well, because he started the last game. But with France, I think when they were defending, the Netherlands drifted back into like a back five, with Dumfries tucking in as like an extra centre back and Frimpong dropping back to make it a back five. But when he got on the ball, he was trying to bomb forward, and it just didn't quite work. So what the Netherlands do on the right, with their right winger, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think this is a pick 'em. Genuinely, I think Austria could do them. They've got that in them. I think that organisation that they could nick a goal and then they could play on the break. So this is far from a gimme for the Netherlands, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on the Holland, the Netherlands, the Dutch, whatever way you want to put it. I agree with you on Memphis Depay. I think Memphis Depay is in it because I don't know, is he good at free kicks or something? I don't know, because he's doing nothing up front for me. You know, he's up there with a headband on him with number 10 on it, which is weird. You know,
he's 5 goals off Van Persie as their top scorer of all time.
I get that, but
he's had a long career.
Yeah, I'm looking in this tournament and I'm thinking to myself, like, I think he missed a couple of chances in the opening game against. I was watching it. I was kind of half watching it while I was having a pint, and he missed quite a few chances. But I think it was Poland they played in their opening game. Yeah. And then I watched him against the French the other night, and I thought, right, for his experience, you know, is he going to pull off these centre halves, pull wide, try overload with Gakpo, try to do the same with Frimpong? You know, is he going to try interchange with Javi Simmons? Is he going? And he didn't. He stood up front against 2 centre halves, and every time I came near him, it bounced off him. And the thing that worries me a little bit about the Dutch is that if you're going to have a forward like that, you need your right and left attackers to be killers. You know, it's a little bit like when Liverpool had Firmino, who wasn't considered an out-and-out goal scorer, but Mane and Salah will kill you because they will get in positions and score loads of goals. I just don't see. Gakpo has played well off the left, but when I look at even Frimpong, like that chance early for Frimpong against France, he breaks through, and a killer takes 2 touches and comes across the defender and puts himself in on goal. He takes 2 touches, which brings him away from goal and gives defenders a chance.
Yeah.
And I don't mind forwards that interplay and stuff like that, but I'm not seeing that from Depay. And listen, it might come, but that leaves an awful lot of expectation for me on your right and left sided attackers. And I don't know if Frimpong has it. And I don't know if Holland have another one that can play out there that can do that.
Daniel Malin.
Yeah, but Malin is seen as a goal scoring attacker. You know, he's not seen as an assist master. He's seen so that might be the thing. But you know, I'm trying to look through the knockouts here again, and I think if you win this group, you could. Do you end up with Turkey at the moment in the next round? Because what I have here is
I'm trying to sit over here and figure out.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the knockouts here. So the first in Group D will play second in Group F, right? And at the moment, Turkey are second in Group F. So if you win that group, you get Turkey, okay? If for
not an easy game.
No, but if for argument's sake you come second in Group D, I'm just trying to find it, second in Group D.
Currently against Belgium.
You will play second in Group E.
Which is Belgium.
Okay. Which is Belgium. So you're going from Turkey or Belgium. Depending on where you come in that group. So I think it's huge for whoever wins this group. I really do. And you know, Ashley, you were saying Spain has impressed you. You know, you you would definitely expect France to come out of this tomorrow and possibly Holland or Austria. But with Spain, when you look at those teams up against Spain later on in the competition, do you think Spain will be worried about either of these? Because I feel like personally, I feel like it might be a bit of a stretch for the Dutch. But I'm looking at them. If I'm Spain, I'm looking going. France just feel like they'll build here, and their strength and depth will become a huge issue, I think, towards the end of the tournament.
Well, I mean, like I said, I was just trying to go through this whole standings. And one thing that I've noticed is that Spain, Germany, and Portugal are all on the same side of the bracket. And so whoever comes in second tomorrow will be on the side of Spain, Germany, and Portugal.
Yeah.
Which to me strikes me as the side of the bracket that you want to avoid.
Yeah.
So I do think there's incentive there. I mean, whether you're playing Turkey or Belgium, I mean, that to me is second to the fact that you're going to have to go through Portugal, Germany, and Spain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think the Dutch have it in them, to be honest. I haven't seen enough. I mean, I watched Portugal and I saw them go into another gear. I watched Spain and I saw them go into another gear. Same thing with Germany. I haven't seen that gear with another.
Yeah. Look, is there an argument for the Dutch? And I know this way out there, but Weghorst comes off the bench quite consistently for the Dutch. Now, I know the boy's had a big, long career and he's, so many goals off, top scorer and stuff like that. But to me, he feels like, maybe not Weghorst, but that sort of player suits Holland a little bit better. Somebody that the likes of Simmons, Gakpo, whether it's Frimpong, Malen as being mentioned, and even the two centre midfielders, that he can bounce balls off and play, the sort of way. I'm just wondering at some stage, do the Dutch turn and go, you know what, we might need to change our tact here a little bit, because it is going to come. It's going to come where Holland are going to be in a knockout game and they're going to be 1-2-0 down, and they're going to have to go for this earlier than they usually do, which is probably 10 minutes to go to bring on Weghorst. I'm just wondering, does that sort of, and maybe it's not total football, the Dutch, they want everybody to be absolute, technicians. Whereas I think someone a little bit more, just rough and ready, physical, and looking to be the one that you bounce a football off for most of the game and let these other lads do their thing, might be a way to go forward. But
they have other options, Brian. I mean, you've got Xerxes that can play up front.
Yeah.
He's strongly linked with the move to the Premier League, 6'3", 6'4". I haven't seen anything of him, to be honest. I don't know. Brian Brobby is another one that can play up front as a lone striker. Does it for Ajax. He can play off the wing as well. So they have options, as well as Weghorst, that they can play one up front and play off him. And he can occupy centre-backs. He's well capable of playing with his back to goal and bringing others into play. And in fairness, the Dutch strength really, when you look at the midfield that they have players that can link the play and play off of a target man central striker. So, decision for Koeman to try. I think he should try it, because 3 games in a week at the end of a long season, it's a tough ask to go with the same 11 or close to the same 11 again. So I think he should make changes, and I think I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Weghorst start, get an hour, and then see where you are, see where the lay of the group is, and if you want to make a change, you've got Xerxes, he could come on and do the same job if it's working. If not, you can try Malen if you want a quick nippy player, or you can bring on Depay if you want to go down that road.
Yeah. Moving into the next group, though, and looking at tomorrow's fixtures, we've kind of covered France and Holland, Austria, Poland. I think the Holland Austria game is going to be brilliant. I think because when I watched Austria against France, I just thought they were well drilled, but they've loads of energy, and it wasn't like they were, holding on against France and not having a go. They had a real go. They had a real go off them. It wasn't like, look, you got beaten 1-0, but you didn't get much of the ball. Austria had plenty of it. But tomorrow then you have Denmark, Serbia, and England, Slovenia, and this is very interesting. England topped the group with 4 points, Denmark with 2, Slovenia with 2, Serbia with 1. England play Slovenia, Denmark play Serbia. Everybody has a chance of going through in this group. Everybody has a chance of possibly finishing third in this group. I think actually well, I suppose if England get beaten and by Slovenia and Denmark beat Serbia, England will finish third in the group, but with 4 points, they'd be absolutely fine. It's this group I'm looking at, right, and I'm thinking to myself, if you win Group C, and again I'm going to start with what would happen, and I'm trying to work out exactly what would happen. But if you win Group C, I think you end up with the third in D or E, and I think that's the way it's come up. Whoever qualifies out of D or E in third place, you will get. So, when you look at that group, I think that might be the Belgian group, isn't it? Where they're all on 3 points.
They're all at 3, yeah.
Yeah. So you have let me see, you have Group D, which will be third in the Netherlands, France, Austria group, or you would have, I think it's the Belgian group, which has Belgium, Ukraine, whoever else in it. There's loads of other teams in that group. I just can't remember them all. But to start with England, actually, we watch Liverpool, we watch an awful lot of English football, and you're watching them, and we had a show the other night, and I just think the fella is just boring, and he won't bring out the best in the players that he has, because he's so defensive and he's so like adverse to any sort of risk averse. But England need to win this tomorrow, actually, because if England draw this tomorrow, right? If England were to draw this tomorrow and get 5 points out of that group, the media will be all over them. They'll be like, look, you beat Serbia by a goal. You drew with Denmark. You drew with Slovenia. Like, no one's confident going there. And Jesus, if they lost it, and, if they lost to Slovenia and, Denmark beat Serbia, England will be third in the group. Like, this is a huge game for England in loads of different ways. Performance-wise, the way they're going to look to go into the knockouts, and where they are in those knockouts when they go in.
Yeah, I mean, they can't be going into the knockout round with this monkey on their back. Like, they have to prove some sort of a point, and at least just prove that they've got, like, a style of play, for lack of a better word. Because right now, all they're doing is they're getting a goal ahead, and then they're sitting back. And they're basically just parking the bus, which is actually, I think, being kind to them, because I don't even know if they have the tactics to park a bus. I think they just don't know what they're doing. So they have to figure something out tomorrow. I don't think Trent starts. I think he's going to be on the bench. It looks like Conor Gallagher is going to take that spot. And I think it'll be interesting to see if the performance is the same without the convenient Trent scapegoat. And if he's not there, who's going to be the next person on the chopping block, I guess, is my question. I mean, if they don't do well, I'm really curious who's going to be the next person that the media pick up on.
It's an interesting one, because there was a great point made by somebody in the chat the other night, and I apologise if I get their name, but they basically said, look, the English media kept telling you that Trent can't play right back and he's a midfielder, and he's played a couple of games in a tournament for England in midfield, and all of a sudden he's no good at midfield, and it seems to be the very, very easy way out. And I'm not talking about idiots on Twitter, I'm talking about, pundits, and I use that in inverted commas because I don't think any of them are any good, but you've the likes of Alan Shearer, who never shut up talking about positive things for England in commentary and stuff, and then just lashing Trent when Trent is an issue, but he's not the only one. There was 11 issues on the pitch the other day. There was genuinely 11 issues on the pitch against Denmark the other day, and the easy thing to do is it actually shows a lack of I think football intelligence to pick out one player when you've had a game like that. I think there's just an ignorance to it. You're clearly not watching the game. What you're doing is you're going, what's the easiest thing to say here? That not even for clicks, just what's the easy thing to kind of sound relevant. I'm not really, don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'll just say Trent. Because he was the last player into the team or something like that, and it's mind blowing to me how they can pick out him. And I'm not saying he was good, but it's mind-blowing to me how they can pick out him and go, he's the issue. He's the issue. Like, when you look at, it's clearly the manager is the issue. Like, it's clearly,
100%.
like you cannot tell me he's not the issue here. Like, he has, like, and I'll say it again, like I said the other night, he has a fullback that flies forward in Walker. So let him go. Keep Trippier where you want, because he's a bit not used to left back, right? You have that. Then you have a number 6 that was moved out of number 6 position. He was moved out of number 6 position late on in the season for Arsenal at £105 million. You have a guy on the left that has no left back moving up with him, so he's just being cornered by 2 people all the time. You have a guy on the right who, because that full back won't go forward, he's being cornered out. You have a striker that wants to come deeper and deeper because he feels like he's not involved in the game whatsoever. And then you have Jude Bellingham, who wanders around where he wants, but literally ends up more times than not on top of Trent and Rice. So, and it's all because they are literally boxed into a certain area of the pitch while they have the ball, and they're not allowed to go anywhere further. And it's basically used 4 guys up front. Your left, your right, your striker, and Jude Bellingham. You go and win a tournament for us, and we'll sit back here and watch. And that doesn't work, because teams are good. And teams will turn around and go, we'll just play 7 at the back, and we'll just swamp your 4. And then our 4 will be joined by 2 or 3 to go with your 6. And let's see who wins. Let's see who wins that game of roulette. The manager is clearly the issue here. And whether Trent is dropped and Conor Gallagher comes in, or whether, it doesn't matter who you put in that team, because the outlook from that manager absolutely negates what talents these players have or what impact they can make on the game. Kev, if they don't win this tomorrow, they go through. They will go through. But if they don't win that game tomorrow, it'll be absolute carnage. Like, you've had Harry Kane coming out during the week having a go off ex-player pundits, apparently. And I haven't seen it. I've just read that he had to go. But this is only going to ramp up, like, tenfold. If England come out with this group of 5 points tomorrow, have won one game 1-0 against Serbia, and failed to beat Denmark and Slovenia.
So Kane had a pop off Gary Lineker. And he had a pop off Gary Lineker for Lineker basically giving the basics of what a striker needs to do in a game of football. Make runs, press the ball, look to stretch the play. The basics, nothing extraordinary. Stop dropping deep. It was nothing out of the way. What Harry Kane come out with was just more drivel and nonsense. His press conference tonight, Gareth Southgate, is basically telling you, I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. I'm leaving at the end of this tournament, so I don't care. I'll play how I want, pick who I want, and what are you going to do? Sack me? I'm leaving anyway. So what? I'm not going to the World Cup in 2026. I know that. When you watch England's 2 games so far, it's actually criminal that he left Jack Grealish at home. If you want someone who can play out on the left, who can take on a fullback, and who that's his natural position, whether he's had a good, bad, or indifferent season for Manchester City is irrelevant. He's good at doing that. He'll get you up the pitch just by drawing fouls. That's what he's very good at. And the fact that he played this way, he picked this squad with the way that England play in mind. You've seen how England have played for 2 games.
He picked the wrong squad. He picked the wrong squad if that's the way he's going to play. And
it's criminal what he's done. It's criminal what he's been allowed to get away with. You come out tonight, I don't pay any attention to the media. I've been in the job long enough. It's water off a duck's back to me. It's nonsense. Water off a duck's back to you because you don't care. And it's not the fact you don't care. You're going. The worst they can do is sack you. You're going anyway, so it doesn't matter. They should win tomorrow.
But you're saying he's talking more drivel tonight, right? He's talking more drivel, and he's talking more this, and he's talking more that, right? But at the end of the day, right, whether he listens to the media or not, or gets affected by the media or not, his limitations as a football manager, right, is only a bigger light is only shone on that if he is saying he doesn't take any word from the media or outside interference. This is all me. His limitations as a manager of a football team is fucking like.
When you look at the forward talent that England, have available to them, you've seen Cesc Fabregas in studios, and his punditry is actually quite good. You saw Thomas Frank when he was doing punditry work on an England game, on the Denmark game. And I swear to God, you give Thomas Frank that job with the players that he has available to him, they'd be organised, they'd be aggressive, and they'd play on the front foot. Gareth Southgate went from Middlesbrough to England under-21s to the England national team, and that's what he knows. He knows nothing else. The job has evolved around him. They did well. They got to the semi-final in Russia, unexpectedly. Then they've been to a final, and another semi-final. There's another semi-final. Ordinarily, you'd look at that and think, you know what, that's not bad. It's not great, it's not bad. But at the same time, when you look at who they had to beat to get there, and it was like walking over broken glass, watching them go through knockout games to get to where they got to, and to fall short. But by falling short, it gave them another 2 years, because maybe next time, Bellingham's coming through, this is coming through, that's coming through. Ultimately, he's limited. He's very limited. He's very little experience outside of qualifying, and they generally qualify real easy, so they're not really tested until they get to knockout football. And when they get to knockout football, they haven't played enough high-level opponents in meaningful football, not friendlies, in meaningful games, to know what to do. This setup he's got with 4-2-3-1 is nonsense.
But it's not hard to know what to do. Like, I'd argue, right?
He just doesn't.
But I know you want to keep. I know you want to keep 6 at the back, right? You want to keep your 4 at the back. You want to keep your 2 in the midfield, and that 6 is just that unit that wants to defend. I have no issue with that. If you want to be like that off the ball, absolutely be like that off the ball.
Yeah.
But I would argue England look more secure, right, if they have their 2 centre backs and 1 full back. They have a guy in the 6th position, 1 slightly ahead of him when you have the ball, and 1 full back up the pitch to support those 4.
Yeah,
because
100%.
1, you're causing more trouble, and 2, when the ball breaks, you have more men up front that might win it back for you, and you're still sitting with 5 fucking people goal side of the ball every time the ball breaks.
Yeah.
And most of the time the ball's breaking 80 yards from your goal. It's not like when you lose it, the fullback, the 2 wingers, Bellingham, aren't allowed run back. They're all allowed run back. But what you're seeing from England is 4 and 2, and they don't go beyond the ball. And then with the other 4, you're seeing them all being crowded out, nobody going to support them, losing the ball, and teams being able to just pop 1 ball into midfield. And these 2 guys are so far back that Eriksen the other night was a prime example. When Denmark won the ball, Eriksen was taking it in the circle, in the centre circle, in England's half, and was able to turn and look and go, where is he going? Because the 2 lads were dropped in on their centre backs, and the ball's 60, 70 yards from the goal.
A classic tonight. If you watch Italy, what's late in the game, Darmian was playing as a left wing back or a left back. And look, Darmian is right-footed. He can do a job at left back, similar to what Joe Gomez does. He's a centre back, a right back, a left back who can do a job. The runs he made every single time was beyond their fullback, just simply to occupy him. That's all he did.
Yeah.
If he got the ball, he tried to put a cross in with his left foot once. The rest of it, and that was just to show that he could. And the rest of the time, it was to pop it back to players who were in better space because of the fact that he was there.
Yeah,
Kieran Trippier will never do that.
No, but even that, Kieran Trippier isn't allowed to do that. This is my whole point. They're set in stone where we're not going to concede any goals. And they've come out of it with a 1-0 win and a 1-1 draw. So it's actually not making them, it's not even making them where you go, do you know what, they won 2-0 and they didn't give a sniff to another team. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. It simply isn't. But I expect them to beat Slovenia tomorrow. I do expect them to. I think they'll get the win. But on the other side of it, actually, you've got Denmark and Serbia.
It's a tough one.
What?
I was going to say on
the other side you've got Denmark and Serbia. Now I actually fancy Denmark to win that, but again it's another group, isn't it? Where if you come out of it second, it's a bit dodgy. If you actually come out of a 4, this is a group where if you come out of a 4, you feel like you've really got a jump ahead on people because you're getting a 3rd place team. You know what I mean? So a 3rd place team, I know it's only a small group, but there's a real confidence for anybody that comes out of this group at first. And Denmark have a big chance to do that.
Yeah, and like we were talking about earlier, do you want to face off with Germany and then probably Spain? Or would you rather go over and hang out with Switzerland and Italy? Because that's the difference between first and second. So I know we're talking about England getting through no matter what. There's still something to play for. I think Denmark thinks there's something to play for. I don't know. I mean, it could be a whole like very similar very similar to today where things flip flop throughout the course of the game up until the final whistle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, if are we all going England, Denmark through here, or is anybody going to throw Slovenia, Serbia into the mix, Kev?
No, I think it'll be England and Denmark, but Serbia, Denmark is a toss up. It's a
Yeah.
50-50. It's a case of whose striker turns up on the day.
Yeah.
Because I think they match each other up really well across the pitch. It's a case of who gets ahead and who can stay confident when they're ahead.
Yeah.
See it out.
Yeah.
You know, if whoever goes up, the second goal is vital.
Yeah, and like again, I suppose I'm just waiting. I'm just, to be honest with you, I'm waiting for the end of the week and the groups are over, where I just go, listen, can you just show me 8 teams at the top and 8 teams at the bottom and the little grid where they move up, because honestly, I'm looking at this going, fucking what group is it?
Murder.
Hold on, what is it? Like, you know what I mean? It's
I
absolute
feel
mental.
like I've been going back and forth this whole show trying to figure it out.
I know, so am I. I'm going from
algebra
group to group and
figure
going,
it
hold
out.
on, 3 AD, hold on, go back, which is in A, which is in D. Like, you'd need an absolute Excel spreadsheet for it, but by the end of the week,
Where's Emmett when you need him?
Emma, or Shawnee, who's been XL, hasn't he been XL champion the last couple of years, Shawnee? So that's what we need. But that's tomorrow's games. I'm not going to go beyond them, I'm going to be honest with you, because we will do shows throughout the week where we look. So you've got France against Poland, Holland against Austria, both at 5 p.m. tomorrow. You've got Denmark and Serbia and England against Slovenia, of course, both kicking off at 8 p.m. airtime here in Ireland or the UK. And you know what? I think, you know, if I'm picking them games, I'm probably watching Holland and Austria, and then I'm trying to dual screen the other 2 games, to be honest with you, at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
But we'll probably come back at 10 p.m. tomorrow night and do something on those games. But just before you go, because you know there's always a mixed match of who's on here and what we're doing. One player that really impressed you in the Euros, and it doesn't have to be, you know, Mbappe, you know what I mean, like but one player that's really impressed you so far in the tournament, and I'll ask you this again next week, but who do you think is going to win it? Ashley, I'll go with you first.
I think the one player that's impressed me is Musiala. I think his dribbling skills have really, he's been great. I just don't get the chance to watch him that often. So to watch him just take on players and take on this kind of mantle of, I thought that I didn't throw him in as like a young player of the year candidate for this tournament, but I think he could be. So he's really impressed me. I have others, but I'll just stick with him. And then
Does he interest you and impress you because there's talk of a bit of a contract wrangle at Bayern Munich, and you're using your inner sensei to get him to Liverpool?
I think if I was going to go that way, I'd go Nico Williams.
Okay.
He's the one that I think, I don't know, he feels very like Mane 2.0. So if I was going to look for one in that mold, I think it'd be him. I think what interests me about Musiala is the back history of him being an England player and then moving over to Germany. I think England could have very much used a player like him this
But
tournament.
they wouldn't. Gareth Southgate would have played him in the 6.
I know, but
You know.
in an ideal world with a competent coach, I think he would have caused some damage in this tournament if he was on the England team. And then who's going to win it? I am just having a really hard time seeing like past Spain. I think, depending on how France do tomorrow, like I just feel like they're sleeping. But are they a sleeping giant or are they just sleeping? I don't know. Whereas Spain, to me, they just like already look like they have a level of dominance and silkiness that, you know, the great Spain teams have had in the past.
Yeah, I think when I look at Spain, they do have that element of dominance. What I'd probably like to see before I'd edge towards Spain is a really tough second round game, which you probably won't get, or a really tough quarter final where, you know, they have a team that has weapons to hurt them, but they see it out. You know, and then you kind of go, yeah, you've seen a kind of an all-round thing from Spain. France have had that. I think they've had a really tough game against Austria, which they came through. I think they did a really tough game against Holland, which they didn't lose. And I think with Mbappe coming back, you know, I think that's where I am with France. but I think Spain could sway me if I seen them. You know, let's say they went and they beat a Holland in a quarter final. I don't even know if they're on the same side of the draw. But I'm saying somebody like that has a real attacking threat and put it up to them in a massive way and put them under 20 to 25 minutes of sustained pressure and Spain see it through. That's my only doubt ever with Spain, is when it comes on top of them, how do they deal with it? And so far, to be honest with you, they've dealt with everything thrown their way. But you're right, Musiala is a fantastic footballer. Everyone in their right mind will be going after him if there is a contract issue at Bayern Munich. And yeah, if England had a manager that didn't order cocktail sausages when he goes out to a restaurant, maybe if he could play for England, he would be unbelievable for him. But of course, Gareth Southgate does audits on his cutlery drawer, and there's nothing we can do to change that. So, Kev, player that's impressed you, who do you think's going to win it?
Lamine Yamal is unbelievable. He's frightening. I mean, this is the first time I've been able to sit down and just watch him. You know, I don't watch Spanish football, not like I used to. But at 16 years of age, he doesn't give a shit about anyone's reputation. He was playing against Italy, against seasoned fullbacks who are top tier. You know, really good quality fullbacks, and he just rinsed them. He didn't give a shit. He's quick. His game intelligence is off the scale. His ability to pick a pass and his composure is very Messi like in not moving.
Yeah.
In being at the right place and being in the right body position to square a fullback up. Nico Williams as well has been very good. But for me, Lamine Yamal has been the standout of the tournament. And the
7
more I
goals
see
and
of
7
him,
assists for Barcelona as a 16-year-old last year. Yeah.
the more I see of him, can you imagine what he's going to be like in 4 years' time when he's 20 at the Euros, the next Euros?
Yeah, he'll probably find girls and drink. He won't be a footballer in 4 years. You know,
I mean, he'll be playing until like 2038 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
he'll find girls and drink. That'll be the end of it.
That's it. What happens when they go from minor to senior?
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. Someone needs to call in James Milner and have him mentor him.
Yeah, just, you know what? Barcelona should just sign James Milner and go, look, you're his dad now.
Yeah.
All right. For the next 10 years.
He's probably, James Milner's old enough to be his dad.
Yeah.
A lot of states.
It's great, but you know, like we're talking about the likes of Modric at 39. There was somebody else. There's someone else doing the rounds in the Euros that's really old.
Pepe?
It's quite who?
Pepe.
Oh yeah, he's rocking around like 45.
41.
Something.
Yeah, and then even the
41.
likes of I seen there was a centre half the other day. There was a centre half playing the other day for somebody. No, not Pepe. It was somebody else. I was like, geez, he's that old. I can't remember who it was. No, it wasn't. It was in the Copa. I was watching America last night, and Reid, who plays for Fulham, he's like 35
Played for
or
Fulham,
6.
yeah.
And I was like, geez, that fella's 36. By the way, watch the Copa last night. Fox Sports, it was on. It was in Dallas, Texas, and I've never had so much fun watching a game of football. The American commentators.
Did you watch them both or just the USA?
I watched the USA. I watched Uruguay as well, but I watched the USA versus Bolivia, and the phenomenal commentary, like unbelievable, to the point where I was roaring laughing at it, like, and it was just, do you know what it was? It wasn't like I wasn't laughing at them kind of going, these people don't know what they're talking about. It's just the terminology they use and how excited they get.
Very different.
Your man literally went, right? It was halftime. They went, halftime here in Dallas. I think it was in Dallas. It wasn't Dallas, wasn't it? AT&T, isn't it? Stadium.
Yeah.
Cowboys, isn't it? Stadium. And he goes, halftime here. It's USA 2, Bolivia 0. 45 minutes gone. 45 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you so excited? Like, everyone knows the second half is coming.
That's his thing. Like, he does that every single game.
Oh, that's it. So it's this guy's thing,
is
it?
Like catchphrase or whatever.
Ah, okay. Because he done this thing later where I was telling the lads this morning, this guy comes on for America, Pepe, right? And they were like, here comes, they were talking about him. He plays for PSV. He used to play for some team in Dallas. And he goes, couple of chances, and he goes, "Oh, here's Pepe trying to get a goal in his adopted city, his home city." And he goes, "I'm trying to get this in his home city," and it kept going. Then the ball was trying to play for him. He missed one from 5 yards, and he goes, "Oh, there must be a curse on him today, trying to get a goal in his adopted in his home city." And then 2 minutes later, he went, "Well, when I say home city, I mean adopted city. He's from Mexico." And I was like, "This is fucking phenomenal." And I just I ended up not watching the game. I was just listening to this guy. I don't think he said he might have said he was from Mexico, but he wasn't from the place he kept telling people he was from. It was just fantastic. And it was like, do you know what? I'll take that over Martin Tyler any day of the week, because the only thing I do, I hate this top of the 6 and top of the box thing. I'm like, lads, he's on the edge of the 6-yard box, or he's on the edge of the box. The top of the 6 and the top of the box, I was a bit thing.
Yeah, that's pure NBA.
But then at half time, right? I'm sorry to go out on a big tangent, but at half time, right? Alexi Lallis is sitting there, and I was like, "Fuck me! Look at Alexi Lallis; he looks great for his age, right?" And I was like, I remember, like in 1993, they had that America Cup or whatever they call it. They beat England 1-0. I think I might have been 2-1 or something. Alexi Lallis, I think he scored. He played definitely. It was before the '94 World Cup, and I always remember the goal. The goal posts were just like goalposts that he carried onto the pitch and went, "There's the fucking goal." We don't put them in the ground, which they've actually gone back to in this Copa, where you can see the bars along the ground behind the post. You know, like,
it's because a lot of them are like on concrete stadiums, like underneath their concrete, and they roll the grass out, so they can't.
So there's nothing going on the ground. So they've gone back to these goals, right? But Alexi Lallis comes on, and Alexi Lallis literally turns into Roy Keane, right, for 20 seconds. It was fantastic. Because he goes, "Alexi, what do you think we need to do?" And he goes, "Well, you know, we got a goal after 2 minutes, and we can't score at my corner." And we're like, "Well, he scored at my corner." And he's like, "Yeah, it was a short corner, and he came in, he caught it in the top corner. It's not really from a set piece. They have a set piece person. He's giving out a set piece person. We need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this." And then he goes, so I was like, "Right, relax, Alexi, you're 2-0 up at half time, right?" So then when they're coming back out, he goes, "Well, what do you feel America need to do in the second half, Alexi?" And he goes, "Well, Weston McKennie needs to play better. He needs to do more. He's looked lethargic. He looked this, he's looked that." Weston McKennie comes on and literally within 2 minutes done one of the best touches I've ever seen in football to get to turn with the ball. And I was like, Alexi Lallis is literally watching way too many clips of Roy Keane on Instagram.
I'll tell you, Alexi Lallis is one step away from Matt Letizia. He's as mad as
is he a 5G?
He's a pure space cadet. He is
lovely.
Way out there.
Yeah,
he is an absolute spacer.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think Daniel Sturridge is on some of the punditry teams as well out there. So yeah. I honestly think Sturridge is brilliant.
The best ones I've seen.
He's brilliant.
The best ones I've seen, though, if you get a chance, watch the Euros on TSN, which I think is a Canadian channel, Canadian network, right? It is off the wall, Matt, right? Like Kevin Cabana showing up in a suit that looks like it's just static. And when you cable TV, if you pull the cable out and it's just black and white static, he's turned up in a suit like this, so you can't even see fucking Kevin Cabana. You just see his head, can't see the rest of his body. They've got Caldwell. Your man Caldwell, he used to play for Burnley, the Scottish guy, and he's talking to the camera like he's trying to get you to join a cult. He's fucking brilliant, because what he do is they ask him a question and he has a guy to his right and his left, and he keeps going like, "Yeah, so what I think is this," and then he just turns and stares at you down the camera, going, "And he needs to do this." They've had him. They've another couple of guys. They asked somebody on at the start of the Denmark England game, where do you think this game will be won? And the person goes, "Well, I think it'll be won in midfield or the final third." And I was like, "Do you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Because do you know why? If you win midfield and the goals are in the final third of the pitch, you're absolutely spot on. It's fantastic."
Did you see any of the cover? I don't know if this is unique to the United States, but the Fox coverage, it was the Germany-Hungary game where they dressed up as pretzels, like the commentators.
No, but I'm nearly sure there was
like they.
Oh Jesus! Right?
Can you see that?
Yeah. I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they dressed up in they were in full outfits, like commentating.
But there was a girl. There was a girl on last. There was a girl on last night for Italy or America versus Bolivia, and she had like a full star-spangled banner kind of fucking suit. It was like mad, like it's absolutely.
They really go all out.
Yeah. It's just incredible. But the American guy, then he was going. If he mentioned one more time, right, that Pulisic got in the team of the year in Serie A, I was going to ring in and go, "Listen, we all fucking know, I was going to ring Fox and go, listen, will you tell that prick, we all know you're in the team of the year. He must have flashed it up on the screen. Every time he got the ball, 7 goals, 9 assists for Pulisic and AC Milan,
You
team
would
of the
think
year.
there's no one else on the team.
Yeah.
Based
yeah.
on like the comments.
Oh, he is star boy. He is star boy.
He's a really fucking good player. But then they have Giovanni Reina, right? Who is the laziest footballer I've ever seen. Giovanni Reina, like everyone's sweating, the humidity. I don't know how humid it is in Dallas, Texas. I'm presuming it's quite humid, right? And everyone's running around and they're sweating. And Giovanni Reina's running around, right? Not a hero place, not a beat of fucking sweat. And he's just like, yeah, I'll just pass the ball over here. And like, whipped them off in 70 minutes. And then weirdly, I was thinking about Brendan Aronson, who played for Leeds, went off to not Hertha Berlin, the other Berlin. Was it another Berlin team? Union Berlin. And avoided relegation. But he's gone back to Leeds because he's under contract by Leeds. And I was thinking, Brendan Aronson, he's American. What's happened to him? And I swear to God, I only thought it. And then they went, Brendan Aronson's going to make way into the fray here now. And I was like, fuck off. I was like, I only thought of him in my head. So, like, I was like, maybe if I think of somebody else, Southern American, you know, I don't know. Macho Man Randy Savage might come out for a game. No, it was the most enjoyable football I've watched in ages.
Imagine what it's going to be like in the World Cup. Imagine if Ireland qualify and they have to dress up. They have to dress up as some of
leprechauns.
Yeah, they would. They would dress up as leprechauns.
Or drunk fucking banjo players.
Like giant 4-leaf clovers.
Oh, like honestly, right? Because we're so bad at football at the minute. If Ireland qualify for the 2026 World Cup, it'll be a crime against humanity if they don't fucking base them in New York and Boston, and literally say, "Listen, lads, you don't have to go to Mexico. Fuck Canada. You can stay and play in the Giant Stadium and some place in Boston.
They can play at Gillette. I think one of the stadiums they're using is Gillette, so they can just base out of Foxborough.
Yeah, like literally, if they do Boston and New York, right, it'll be the greatest World Cup of all time. It'll, like honestly,
absolutely.
Like, and I'm not messing. If Ireland were to play in name a stadium with 90,000 fucking attendance, if Ireland were playing and in that, it will literally be sold out of Irish people. I promise you.
There'll be a run after credit unions. Like
nobody, and I include America, will travel as well to this World Cup as Ireland will. It's off the chain how good it would be. I definitely go. We just all park a van up outside Ashley's cafe and go, listen, we're going to be here for 2 weeks. Pay no attention to us. It's all good.
In fairness, Foxborough is not in Boston.
Dog that won't stop barking.
No,
it's a bit of a drive. It's a bit of a trek.
There is a train that goes to and from, so it's fine.
Boston to where? To New York?
Foxborough.
It's like an hour away.
From where you live in Boston?
Yeah.
Foxborough is the stadium. Oh, right.
Yeah,
an hour's
like
back.
It's where the Patriots play, and it's where, yes, that's where they're doing some of the games.
Okay. But anyway, listen, they're letting about 85 teams into the next World Cup, so we have to make it. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, like, what they should do is they should turn around and go, how many political agreements have you got with America? And then they start at the top and they go, Ireland have loads, you're in, right?
Yeah.
You're in. And then just walk down, and then when they get down, fill about 16 space down, go, right now the qualifying starts, there's fucking 20 spots left. That's the only way Ireland are getting in, to be fair.
I think if your country that has pre-clearance at the airport that you're leaving from, you automatically get seated.
Yeah, we don't sign green cards. We don't sign green cards. We get on the
That's
plane and we go, what?
1990s. What
we get off here. Listen, the fella checking our passport when we get off the other end is probably called O'Reilly. Don't be worrying about it. I know him. I knew it was Ma. Something like that. And then we just walk into America and we have the crack. Gav and his fucking Winnebago again. Yeah, listen, I don't know what it is. When I go anywhere, I always think when I go to America, I shouldn't be in a hotel. I should be in an RV. Just ringing Ashley going.
I can arrange that for you.
Yeah, but I'm just ringing Ashley going, listen, I'm just going to park her outside the house. 10 days max, right? And I won't annoy any of your neighbours. And it'd be grand. Like, do you know what? I get on so well with you and your neighbours. They'd love me. They'd be literally going, just stay. We're having great crack. But yeah, we kind of went on a tangent there. We were talking about the Euros and then we got on. But listen, if you get a chance to watch
Did you watch Nunes at all last
Yes.
night? Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious. What did you think?
I thought he had a decent game. I think there's one shot in the first half he hit straight at the keeper from about 14 yards, which I think he should probably take a touch and then look to place it. He's a header, I think, in the second half, which is a little bit more difficult than it looks, and he doesn't go too far. But the goal is brilliant. The goal's a great finish.
Yeah, it was a lovely volley.
Yeah, but we're at the stage now where if Nunes, tries a shot from 35 yards and goes narrowly wide, they'd say, look, how didn't he score that? That's where we're at the minute. I'd love him to have a good Copa, come back with 5, 6, 7 goals under his belt, possibly a medal under his belt and come back. But listen, I can't wait to see him again in Liverpool jersey. I love him. He has flaws. He has, there's percentages he needs to rise in his game, but overall, I still think he's worth another bash. But if you're going to watch the Copa, I know you're going to watch Messi and you're going to watch Brazil. Please watch an American game, like on Fox. Just watch it. And I don't watch any, of the pre-game stuff and the halftime stuff. But literally, right, I watched the pre-game stuff and I was like, yeah, they're really into this. Half-time is literally a competition to see who can sell the most fucking trucks between the Ford F-150, there's some Chrysler job, and Ford of the new Bronco out as well. And it's literally an ad. And then in between, there's a fella selling tiles going, listen, this is waterproof and it's fucking lifetime guarantee. And then there was the best ad, which was like somebody got some decking outside the house. And it was like, literally changed our lives. Like, we have an area now where we can play and they're having water balloon fights and stuff. And I was like, fuck off, will you? You put a deck out the back. You know what I mean? You clearly got paid some sort of royalty to do this. But fantastic advertisements as well. So an all-round experience is 9 out of 10. Fox Sports, American, the Copa. Fuck the football. Yeah, no, it's all the bits around it. The football's good as well. But there you go. Scouts of Pieces, 10 days max, says Gav. 3 years later, Ashley is still trying to get immigration to the port of fucker. I'm like Luis Diaz's dad. I'm just sitting there going, what you mean I have to go home? But that's where we are. That's where it's been. Kev, did I ask you who you thought you'd win it?
Yeah, I think Spain.
Spain as well?
Okay. They look the most likely.
I'm going to just go with France just to be, I don't know, just to be like that. Anyway, tomorrow, we will possibly do a show tomorrow, but there's a chance me and Phil are doing a new podcast tomorrow, and there's a chance we're going to play it and record it in front of you members. And I've told Ashley and Kev me 2 topics for tomorrow, and I know they're thinking about it because I can see Ashley laughing about them already, and Kev is just saying nothing. But they're fantastic topics. Phil will have 2 tomorrow. Yeah, there's 4 of them.
Trust me, don't miss it.
There's no football. This podcast will be
life or death stuff.
Life and death stuff. There is no football on it. Okay, so if you see it going up where it says Gavin Phil on a podcast the next couple of days or a live show, there's no football on it. Okay, we're not even going to release it to download. I don't think we don't know what we're going to do yet. We're definitely going to do it tomorrow at some stage, but we'll see where we go. We may do it at 9 o'clock and just record it on our own somewhere and then see where it goes. But we should be on here at 10 tomorrow with some Euro stuff. If not, we'll be there the night after to do some reaction to the England stuff and some looking ahead to whatever groups are left. Ashley, Kev, thanks a million. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks for everyone for all of you for being members. Please continue to do so. We're having good crack. We're doing our best this summer. Jesus Christ, we need a transfer of any sort. Like, literally, some bloke for 1.5 million who's going to be third choice right back. I'll take it right now, just so we can talk about it. But it's not happening at the moment. But we are looking at doing a quiz towards the end of the week. It'll be a Liverpool-based quiz. I'm not going to tell them what it's about because these people might be on it, and I'm not giving them any clues. So, there you go. Ashley, Kev, thanks a million. I've been Gav. Go watch America and the Copa America. It's way better than the fucking Euros. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.